What is up, YouTube? It's me, the Artisan MC. So I'll try to keep this quick because squeaky wiper blade right now. That shit is irritating. It was squeaky yesterday. Now his ass is squeaking. Anyway, it's Thursday, and it's raining here in Cali. It's 50-something degrees. Cali raid, not like Georgia raid. It's cold. It is uncomfortable, and it's not feel good. So, I'll be getting wet and not the way I like. Like, share, subscribe, so sure we can feel so blind. So I'll try to keep this one quick. You noticed a few things yesterday, which I found a bit entertaining. Because I did the stream yesterday talking about, people not getting on board with talking about things that are actually happening. Going where the stream is leading. Well, it was interesting. Little morning talks. Came back to do listen, and heard some folks in the Slipstream. Having a little conversation about doing prophecy. And I found it interesting. I think back they were talking about it because that's what they're supposed to be. They are supposed to talk about it. But I found why they weren't talking about it too much because they don't know shit about it. They don't know anything really about the rest of those doom books. They don't, because they didn't read them. Fine. I would rather, a person sit quiet and make as opposed to sitting there bloviating television. But I always find it curious how long it takes for folks to jump in on, touch in on having something to say about current media that's already been out there for days and they ain't mentioned. They haven't talked about it all. What up, studio? Now, do their part of the job, which is an edit. Make some quippy gifts and whatnot, some funny pauses and breaks, and then throw it up there to entertain the masses. I get that part. But the ones that just do live shows every day, they had plenty of time to talk about this shit. And they did. Which means it wasn't on their damn radar to want to watch. It's funny. In sense though, talking about how algorithm works. Start talking about something, then everybody got their ears to the ground. But now they got the chance to open their mouth. Now, I'll still say I'm waiting for them to get on watching Cross. Since I'd like to put it out there for you guys yesterday. #1 show on Amazon Prime. I mean, if everybody watched Prime, That's the best show. You could take that or leave it. You can trust it or not trust it, because at one point they were saying Ring of Power was the #1 show on Prime. And I know damn well I wasn't watching it. But regardless, it is a good show. I haven't looked at the Netflix rankings to see where Arcane is falling on that. But I don't really care to read it because I'm not that damn interested in running the Arcane first. It's not. So I like the world of Doom. I like the stories of Doom. So I roll there as opposed to the video games. The other thing I'm not doing is trying to ship or marry Gladiator and Wiccan together into some trendy phrase, because something that came out of the woodwork a year or two ago, which was Barbenheimer, ended up being something to trend. That's what I mean by algorithms work on what you put out there in space that people start nibbling on. I'm gonna watch Wicked. Not gonna make a big deal of it. I might watch Gladiator too. I won't make a big deal about it. Partly because I don't think there needs to be a sequel to Gladiator. Maximus is dead. What do I need to see Pedro Pascal in another new face? Redoing Gladiator all over again. I've seen it before. It's done. Aside from Cynthia Erivo's stupid comments, I was interested in seeing Wicked because of Wicked. I've never seen the play. You know, I'm not gay. I'm a lesbian, but I'm not gay. I don't have a problem with black and white musicals. I don't. I'm not that uncultured, I guess. Musicals don't bother me. If it's happening in the world of Wizard of Oz, that might be interesting. I watched I watched the play that started that take on redeeming all these evil women in popular culture. I watched that to see what it was about. Oh, hell no. I don't think I'll be buying no popcorn buckets or anything like that, but I watch it. Cinephile, I'll get into shit like that. But I'm not going to be trying to create mashups of names of the two movies to try to make that trend so they can say I did it. No. I don't care that much. They don't need that much hype on this damn show. Still, Malika. What I am interested in is how much conversation circled around one episode of a show. See what, but showing how little they know about the property, which is probably why they didn't touch it at all. Like I said, which is fine. Which is fine. You won't be subject to the whims of the audience regardless. So you're gonna have to get knowledgeable sooner or later, right? Now, what I did listen to on the panel conversations with a bunch of content creators, which was people who've actually read these books, sitting there Wikipedia and Googling the shit and reading it from that. they thought of the material things they found objectionable in it. Because there was stuff you could find objectionable in it. It was, but it was mostly mild. And the best take I heard from someone who doesn't know the material and said as much was that it was mostly just men. It was mostly boring. There was no hook. And I was like, well, there were some hooks in it. There were. But they gave you carnage as a hook. That didn't grab you? That didn't grab you? Really? At the same time, everybody wants to jump up and celebrate, Gladiator and Wicked. What is Gladiator supposed to be giving you? Carnage. Right? It's supposed to give you carnage. Is that why everybody is happy? Especially since there's a lot of attention focused on one show giving you carnage, one movie giving you carnage, and one movie giving you spectacle and singing, and these are the same things that you hated Joker 2 for. Too much singing and didn't give you enough carnage. Find that very interesting. Find that very interesting. And very telling to my point is that people just wanted to shit on Joker 2. Todd Phillips was due to get shit on because they were mad about the fact that his first movie blew up when they didn't think it was going to be shit. And it blew up in their face as something major. And they were late. They didn't call it ahead of time. This time around, I'll make sure they shit on them. But right now, they're all aflutter about two separate movies, giving two of the same things that you will claim you were upset about, too. Same shit. You were mad that it was useful, and there wasn't enough carnage. So now Gladiator and Wicked are good because they have carnage and they have singing. Whatever. I'm not a fan of the puppet show, and I'm not a fan of the idea that. Here's the question: what's the difference between a celebrity and a social media influencer? What's the difference? If you could tell me that shit, please do. I'd be really interested to know what the difference is. I have my own idea of what the difference is. I think it just comes down to who butters your bread and who wants to be at the front of the culture. That's it. Who wants to have what they do with the culture and move that way. So I don't do that kind of exploratory deep dive into one topic because I don't have time to do it. I'm sure there's some people who sit around and, have plenty of time to record videos and edit them or get them edited and use their Google fingers. Do that shit. Figure it out. Put it out there. I'll watch it. Some people across the pond I'm sure they got time. Because it will lead towards an exploration of that will lead towards what you see happen on social media. Calling balls and strikes, what people don't want to do is necessarily just call balls and strikes. What they want to do is steer the wind. And that's the part that I think is troublesome because an organic movement is one thing, right? An organic movement is one thing. Leading a culture, any culture, in a certain direction that is not organic, is not natural, and that is the power of influence. It's called personality. What you've seen after this election is that the cult of personality around celebrities has diminished greatly. They cannot move the masses the same way they used to. They still move a mass, but not as much as they used to. Celebrity endorsement doesn't really mean as much nowadays. But you know whose endorsement does? Social media celebrities. And I'll prove my point. How many people watched the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight? How many? Now ask yourself a question. Why the fuck did you watch that? Because Jake Paul is an awesome boxer? What? Because his accolades throughout his career of boxing is what you know him for? No. Because Tyson has had a bunch of matches in recent years. He making a comeback. Is that it? No? Okay, so why the fuck did you watch it? You watched it because there was enough advertisement out about it till you finally capitulate and fall for the psychological priming of you need to watch this fight because it's going to be a big deal. It was a big deal. A big deal at bullshit. But you still watched it. And they still got paid for you watching it. And it proved the power of a social media influencer to bring people to watch them, to get them eyeballs. What's that? I have met not a person in the bar shooting pool, talking at work, and just friends and family. I have not met a person who thought that was a good fight. Not a one. But we all watched it. We all did. Out of, I guess, straight curiosity and not the fear of missing out, FOMA, not be the one standing by the virtual water cooler to say, yeah, I saw that fight. That was a piece of shit. We all watched it. And we was all equally disappointed. But the main complaint you hear from it is, oh, it's all about the money. Well, isn't that what everything else is about too? Don't be mad at Jake Paul because you showed up and gave your eyeballs to it. Those brothers have made a career off of doing shocking things on camera. Entire career off of it. Initially from what? YouTube and shit? So why are you surprised? Why are you upset? That fight proved that a social media person who is not a regular card carrying celebrity, he's not an actor, he's not a singer, he's not a dancer, he's not a sports athlete necessarily. None of that shit. He's a social media person. He proved that he can bring millions of dollars to Netflix for calling out a known heavyweight champion. Past his prime, old or not. He called his ass out and got in the fucking ring and promoted the hell out of that shit. It looked like a WWE match. Because it wasn't based on his damn skills, I can tell you that much. Or at least not his boxing skills. His social media skills, yes. That sold that fight. It got people to watch it. They made money. Both of them did. And nobody had to get knocked out. He didn't have to get his face crushed and not, be able to do his social media thing for a little while. And Tyson didn't get his legacy destroyed by getting knocked out by somebody who was not a boxer. So, respect intact. You might not respect that match, but you still respect the two of them. Yeah, nobody forced Mike Tyson to take that fight. No, they didn't. But I broke it down real simply when I was talking to my mother. Then I'm going to get out of here so I can go grab some breakfast. If Mike Tyson just said he was making a comeback just on his own, he said he was making a comeback right now, would you watch those fights? Maybe. But you'd be watching it to see him get his ass knocked out. You would be. Right? That's that little reptilian brain part of ourselves. We'd be watching that shit to see Mike Tyson get knocked out because we know he's old. And the dudes he'd be fighting in the heavyweight division is young, hungry. But you wouldn't watch that shit, right? Okay. If Jake Paul said he was seriously trying to jump into the heavyweight division and start fighting, would you watch that shit? No. Why? Because he's not a fighter. He ain't been an amateur. He hasn't grinded his way up. He's still trying to look pretty for the camera. He ain't got his nose broke yet. No, you wouldn't. And this is why that fight worked. It was two people individually you wouldn't even want to watch. But the juxtaposition of the two of them, a very accomplished fighter, world-renowned accomplished fighter, and a world-renowned social media celebrity who wants to fight, made you want to watch that shit. Because you wanted to see, one way or the other, you want to see somebody get knocked out. And what are you disappointed about? Nobody got knocked out. They didn't even really fight. It was an exhibition. It was a demo. Right? And that's what I broke it down to my mother as. This is social media shit, mama. You wouldn't watch either one of these guys by themselves if they was announcing a fight. They couldn't get a fight purse that big by themselves right now. Only way it made any kind of sense was that the two of them worked together, and that was genius ass marketing. Because it made a fight that people went to watch, not because they thought it was going to be a good fucking fight, because they was looking to see somebody get knocked the fuck out. And they didn't. We like our carnage where we like our carnage. We got no carnage. The only carnage you saw in that whole deal was Serrano and Taylor, the two females. And the only thing anybody could talk about is Serrano's eye being busted open. They ain't talking about the technique. They're not talking about what happened round for round. No. They're just talking about the gore of it because that's what they wanted to see. They didn't get that from Tyson and Paul. And that's why they're upset. Like McGregor and Mayweather, yes, it's a celebrity stunt. It's a celebrity stunt. Because Mayweather is a legit fighter. McGregor is a legit fighter from the MMA, right? But McGregor is so much of a social media fucking, thing that was bringing more people to come watch the shit. Why do you think he got put in a movie that he was garbage in? I like to say, due to the great level of social media influence, black men clap based against Obama for his disrespectful words to us during the election. Yeah. But you have to remember, most black men didn't really like Obama anyway. So he had one more time to say something fucked up to us. He had one more time to say something fucked up to us before we say, look, Barry, shut the fuck up, nigga. And let you go in there and be a house Negro for 8 years. Shut the fuck up. Don't think you get to start talking crazy now. You are not the president. You are an ex-president, motherfucker. We enjoy and are addicted to the spectacle and the car crash. Yes, we are. And what a Jake Paul Tyson fight will prove for you is that social media and huge fans of social media that go wherever social media leads is that carnage, is that car crash. That's what they're looking for. That's why TikTok is the biggest thing, because it's quick, it's instantaneous, it's short. A car crash a minute. A car crash a minute. You're addicted to that shit. Can't pass it up. So when I look at and extrapolate it out to observing culture and how certain movies are getting promoted and certain movies are getting shit on, it's the human condition. It's this modern human condition. What they respond to, what they don't. They want their carnage, and they want their singing where they want it, and they want their spectacle. And if you're not giving them that in the package that they're willing to accept and understand right off the bat, then you're not getting those eyeballs. And that's just the way the fuck it is. So I'm going to get out of here and go get my breakfast because I was running a little bit late, but I got to eat something because I fell asleep last night before I even made dinner. So I was tired as shit. So I got to eat something right now. Or I'm going to be in a real hangry mood all day, and they don't want to see me like that. So thank you guys for showing up. I never put the banner across the screen. There you go. There's a banner for you. You can see it for a couple seconds before I shut this shit down. Appreciate you guys coming through. You have a good Thirsty Thursday. And I will be back at you guys again soon. Peace.